Okay, let's move on to a different subject here. If Irvin Johnson were to go into the pros right now, how would you think he would do? You know, like put him on a level with some other kind of player.
I think he's a very talented kid with an incredible passing touch. He needs a lot of work in shooting. There's no question he can make it. None in my mind at all. Exceptionally well coordinated. Very gung-ho, which is a positive thing. He's coachable. I think he would go in the first 5 players to be drafted.
Should he go hardship this year? You think he'd be one of the first 5?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Should he go hardship, which I think he may do.
And what's the story on Bill Walton? Will he be back next year or back for the playoffs if they make
Bill is, Bill was at the Indian campus, you know, a couple of weeks in Tucson, and it was indicating that he was expecting to come back in time for the playoffs. Now, of course, the season's ending in about 2 or 3 weeks, so if he's coming back, it should be this week.
I haven't taken a look at the standings lately, but what's Portland's playoff picture? If the season were in tomorrow, would they be in?
Portland's playoff position now is very precarious. They are, of course, fighting for a spot in the Western Division. If you look at the percentages, Portland right now is behind San Diego, and their playoff picture is not very, very good. They are 1 game behind San Diego. At the moment, if the season were to end, Portland would miss it by 1 game, which means it could change in a day or 2, in a game or 2. So they're 1 game out of playoff contention behind the Clippers.
If you had a vote for the most valuable player, would it go to Moses Malone?
I think Moses Malone will have to receive strong consideration. I think Elvin Hayes should receive strong consideration this year. George Gervin should receive strong consideration this year. Moses Malone should be very strongly considered. Those are the players that come quickly to mind for the designation that you're talking about. And I also like Marcus Johnson and Walter Davis, who are very valuable players for their teams. Dennis Johnson of Seattle, another player I have a very high opinion of, and of course, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Has Elvin Hayes ever been most valuable player before past his rookie year?
I don't believe so, no. He's been very underrated, as you know, and overlooked.
Yeah, I consider one of the 3 or 4 best forwards in the...
He does everything, really does everything, but he hasn't been a very popular player, and yet he's a very talented individual indeed.
Okay, going on to... do the Cincinnati Reds have any other pitching prospects besides Tom Seaver?
The Cincinnati Reds pitching staff is pathetic. They have Bill Bonham coming back from surgery, as you know. They have little Freddie Norman. They have a bunch of kids, including Paul Moskow, who the dunce, Wagner, the general manager of that team, called a quitter at the end of the year and then brought him back. They have the worst general manager maybe in the modern history of the game, the biggest dunce who commits more social faux pas than anyone I can possibly think of. Their pitching staff is terrible, really just terrible, and that's the big problem. They have a great baseball team, though, with the exception of pitching, which means they've got everything. It's just like saying the guy's in great shape, except he's broke.
As an expert in sports, how would you level off the rising salaries?